How to understand fast English conversations and different accents. Hello everyone. Welcome back. I'm Jackie, and today we'll talk about how to understand fast English conversations and different accents. I know this might sound hard at first, but don't worry. I'm going to break it down into simple steps. With these steps, you'll feel more confident when listening to English speakers, whether they talk fast or have different accents. Understanding fast speech and different accents takes practice, but you can do it. Start slow, and over time, you'll see how much you improve. By the end of this video, you will have a better idea of how to handle fast English conversations and various accents. Let's get started. Step 1. Train your ears with slow listening. Learning to understand English conversations starts with training your ears. Don't worry about fast speakers yet. First, focus on listening to slow and clear English. This will help you get used to how English sounds. Let's see how you can do this step by step. English learning apps and beginner-level podcasts are excellent tools to start. These apps and audio lessons use slow and simple English. Apps like Duolingo provide audio exercises where you can hear words and sentences slowly. These are perfect for beginners. Look for podcasts designed for English learners, such as ESL Pod or The English We Speak. These podcasts speak slowly, so you can understand every word. When you listen, focus on each sentence. Don't just hear the words, try to understand what they mean. Repetition is a powerful way to improve. When you listen to English, pause the audio after each sentence and repeat it out loud. Try to say the sentence exactly like the speaker. Focus on how they pronounce words, their tone, and their rhythm. Start with easy sentences like, "How are you today? I am going to the market." Say these sentences slowly and clearly. Repeat them several times until you feel comfortable. Imitating the speaker will help you sound more natural when you speak English. Videos are an enjoyable way to practice listening. Start with videos that have subtitles in English. This way, you can read and listen at the same time. Shows made for children, like Peppa Pig or Sesame Street, are great because they use simple language. You can also find beginner English videos on YouTube. When you watch, read the subtitles while you listen. This helps you connect the words you see with how they sound. If you hear a useful phrase, pause the video and repeat it. For example, "What's your name?" "I would like some water." Saying these phrases out loud will help you remember them. Training your ears requires consistency. Try to spend at least 10 minutes a day listening to slow English. Over time, your brain will get better at recognizing words and phrases. At first, it might feel difficult. You may not understand everything, and that's okay. Learning takes time. Keep practicing and you'll see progress. With these small, simple steps, you'll train your ears to understand English better. Once you feel confident with slow English, you'll be ready to move on to faster conversations. Step 2. Gradually move to faster speech. When you feel comfortable with slow English, it's time to challenge yourself with faster conversations. This step may feel harder at first, but don't worry, it's all about practice and patience. Let's go through some simple ways to get used to faster speech. One way to start is by slowly removing subtitles. If you've been watching shows or videos with English subtitles, try watching the same content again, but without them. Since you already know the story or topic, it will be easier to follow along. Focus on listening to the tone and context. Even if you don't understand every word, pay attention to how the speakers express their feelings or ideas. For example, listen to how someone sounds when they are happy, sad, or surprised. Understanding the emotion in their voice will help you guess the meaning, even if you miss some words. Daily practice is key to improving your listening skills. Spend at least 10 minutes each day listening to faster English. You don't need to understand every single word. Instead, try to focus on the main idea of what's being said. Ask yourself, what is the person talking about? What is the main topic? Listening to news clips, interviews, or podcasts designed for English learners is a good way to practice. These often use clear and natural speech. Don't worry if you feel lost at first. Over time, your brain will get better at catching words and phrases. Another helpful technique is to replay short parts of the audio. If you don't understand something, rewind and listen again. Try breaking it into smaller sections. For example, listen to one sentence or one phrase, then pause and think about what you heard. If the sentence is too fast, play it again. Each time, try to catch more details. This repetition helps you get used to faster speech. Songs can also be a fun way to practice. Choose English songs with clear lyrics and listen carefully to the words. At first, you might not understand all the lyrics. That's okay. Look up the lyrics online and read them while listening. Then try singing along. Singing helps you get used to the rhythm and pronunciation of English words. For example, listen to simple songs like Let It Be by the Beatles or other slow pop songs. Practice singing them until you feel comfortable with the speed. Practicing with real-life English is another great way to improve. Look for opportunities to listen to native speakers. For example, you can watch interviews on YouTube, listen to speeches, or even eavesdrop on conversations in public places, like a coffee shop. If you know someone who speaks English fluently, ask them to talk with you. Listen to how they form sentences and how fast they speak. During conversations, don't be afraid to ask someone to repeat themselves or slow down if you don't understand. People are usually happy to help. Another tip is to shadow what you hear. Shadowing means repeating what someone says right after they say it, copying their pronunciation and speed. For example, if you hear someone say, "How's it going?" repeat it right away in the same way they said it. This helps train your ears and improve your speaking at the same time. Podcasts and audiobooks are great tools for shadowing. Play a short sentence, pause, and then say it out loud yourself. You don't have to be perfect. The goal is to practice and get used to the natural speed of English speech. As you practice more, you'll notice patterns in how words are spoken. Native speakers often connect words, making them sound faster. For example, instead of saying, "What do you want to do?" you might hear, "What do you want to do?" Recognizing these patterns will make fast English easier to understand. At first, it might feel like native speakers talk too fast, but your brain will adjust with time. Remember, it's okay to feel frustrated sometimes. Learning to understand fast English is a big step, but you're making progress every day. Be consistent with your practice. Even 10 minutes a day can make a big difference over time. Celebrate small victories. If you understand a few more words or phrases than before, that's a great achievement. The most important thing is to stay positive. Keep challenging yourself with faster speech, and soon you'll find it much easier to understand English conversations. Step 3. Focus on common words and phrases. Fast English can feel difficult at first. The words may sound different when spoken quickly. But don't worry, you can make it easier by focusing on common words and phrases. These are used often in everyday conversations. Let's talk about how you can do this step by step. Start by learning commonly used phrases. In fast English, people often use short, casual expressions like, "What's up?" This means, "How are you?" or "What's new?" "How's it going?" This is another way to ask how someone is doing. "I gotta go." This means, "I have to leave." If you know these kinds of phrases, you'll understand more when people speak quickly. Write down a list of phrases you hear often and practice saying them. Another thing to focus on is contractions. English speakers love to shorten words when talking. For example, I am becomes I'm. So, instead of saying, I am happy, they'll say, I'm happy. Do not becomes don't. Instead of saying, do not worry, they'll say, don't worry. Going to becomes gonna. For example, I'm going to eat sounds like I'm gonna eat. Learning contractions helps you understand fast speech. Practice saying them yourself to get used to the way they sound. You can also listen to real conversations to find these contractions. Watch videos, listen to songs, or watch movies. Pay attention to how words are shortened. For example, in a movie, you might hear, I dunno. This means, I don't know. Or, wanna grab lunch? This means, do you want to grab lunch? Write these down and practice saying them aloud. The more you practice, the easier it will be to recognize them in fast conversations. It's also important to understand connected speech. This happens when words blend together. In English, people often connect words to save time. For example, do you want to sounds like do you wanna? I have to sounds like I have to. At all sounds like at all. At first, connected speech might sound confusing, but listening closely will help. Practice repeating these phrases after hearing them. Start with simple sentences. For example, listen to, what are you doing? This means, what are you doing? Repeat it until you feel comfortable. Slowly, you'll start to recognize more connected phrases. To get better, you can use subtitles when watching videos. Turn on English subtitles and follow along as people speak. Pay attention to how words connect. Then, try turning off the subtitles and see how much you understand. Practice this often to improve your listening skills. Another tip is to learn common slang words. Slang is informal language that native speakers use in everyday conversations. For example, cool means good or great. Yet is a casual way to say yes. Gimme means give me. If you know common slang, you'll find it easier to understand casual speech. Make a list of slang words you hear often and try to use them when speaking. Don't forget to practice speaking these phrases and words out loud. The more you say them, the more natural they will feel. Use a mirror to practice. Look at yourself and say, "What's up?" or "I'm gonna go." Notice how your mouth moves. This helps improve your pronunciation. You can also practice with friends or language partners. Ask them to use common phrases and contractions in your conversations. For example, if a friend says, "Wanna hang out later?" respond with something like, "Yeah, that sounds cool." Real-life practice is one of the best ways to learn. Don't worry if you make mistakes. People will still understand you, and you'll improve each time. Listening to music is another fun way to learn. Many songs use contractions and slang. Listen carefully to the lyrics and try to sing along. For example, in a song, you might hear, "Gonna be alright." This means, It's going to be all right. Sing the lines yourself to practice how the words flow together. Audiobooks can also help. Choose a book with simple language and listen to how the narrator speaks. Pay attention to contractions and connected speech. Repeat sentences after the narrator. For example, if they say, "I don't know what to do," you can pause the audio and say the sentence yourself. Another way to practice is by using flashcards. Write a contraction or phrase on one side, like "I'm," and the full version, "I am," on the other side. Test yourself to see how quickly you can recognize them. As you get better, start using these phrases in your own sentences. For example, instead of saying, "I am going to the store," try saying, "I'm gonna go to the store." This will make your English sound more natural and help you get used to faster speech. The most important thing is to practice every day. Spend a few minutes listening to fast English and trying to repeat what you hear. If you feel frustrated, take a break and remind yourself that learning takes time. Each day, you're getting better and closer to understanding fast English. Celebrate your progress. If you understand a new phrase or contraction, be proud of yourself. Small steps lead to big improvements. Stay consistent with your practice. With time and effort, you'll find it much easier to understand fast English conversations. Step 4. Expose yourself to different accents. English has many different accents around the world, and each one sounds a little different. When you start learning English, it can be difficult to understand all the different accents. But don't worry. You can make it easier by practicing with different accents, step by step. Let's look at how you can do that. First, it's a good idea to start with just one accent. This will help you feel comfortable before you try others. For example, you might choose to listen to American English. You can watch TV shows, listen to podcasts, or find videos where people speak in an American accent. When you listen to one accent, it's easier to get used to the way the words sound and the rhythm of speech. If you're new to accents, it's helpful to start with accents that are easier for you to understand. For example, if you live in a country where American shows are popular, you might already be familiar with American English. Choose the accent that is most familiar or easiest for you to find content to practice with. As you listen to this one accent, try to focus on the sounds and the way words are said. If you hear a new word or a different pronunciation, don't worry. Just listen closely and repeat it after the speaker. This helps you practice the pronunciation and get used to hearing it. The more you listen, the more comfortable you'll become with that accent. Once you feel confident with one accent, you can start to expand to other accents. This will help you understand different ways people speak English. For example, you might start with American English, then move on to British English. You can watch a British show like Sherlock to hear how British people speak. This will help you notice the differences between the accents. Listening to podcasts can also help. For example, you can listen to Australian podcasts like ABC Learn English. Australian English has its own unique sounds, and by listening to podcasts, you can get used to hearing them. You can find podcasts for different levels of English, from beginner to advanced, so there's something for everyone. When you listen to different accents, try to notice the key differences. For example, in British English, the word water is often said as wada, while in American English, it's pronounced wa. This is one example of how accents change the sounds of words. In British English, the art sound is often softer or dropped, while in American English, it's pronounced clearly. Each accent has its own unique sounds, And understanding these differences will help you become a better listener. When you know how the accent changes certain words, it will be easier for you to understand what people are saying. For example, in Australian English, you might hear people say "G-day" instead of "good day," and in British English, biscuit means what Americans call a cookie. Learning these small differences will help you feel more confident when listening to English speakers from different countries. To practice, try to watch shows or movies that feature different accents. You can choose shows from different countries, such as American, British, Australian, or even English from other parts of the world. Listen carefully to how people speak and try to repeat what they say. Pay attention to how they pronounce words and try to mimic the sounds. This will help you get used to hearing the accents and improve your listening skills. It's also helpful to use subtitles when you're watching these shows. Turn on English subtitles so you can see the words while you listen to them. This will help you match the sounds you hear with the words on the screen. Over time, you'll start to understand the accent better, even without the subtitles. Another great way to practice is by listening to songs from different countries. Songs often have a unique rhythm and pronunciation, which can help you hear different accents. Try to sing along with the songs to practice your pronunciation. You can also listen to audiobooks in different accents to get used to hearing different ways of speaking. If you're practicing with a friend or language partner, try to ask them to speak in different accents. This will give you more practice listening to different sounds and will make you feel more comfortable with the variety of English accents. You can also ask your language partner to correct your pronunciation if you're not saying something in the right way. As you get better, you'll start to notice how easy it is to understand different accents. You won't get confused by the different ways of speaking because you'll be familiar with them. Just keep practicing and you'll improve over time. Here are some additional tips to help you understand different accents. Be patient. Understanding different accents takes time. Don't get discouraged if you don't understand everything at first. Keep listening and you will get better. Practice regularly. The more you practice, the easier it will be to understand different accents. Make listening to a part of your daily routine, even if it's just for a few minutes. Focus on the main idea. When you're listening to someone with a different accent, try to understand the main idea of what they're saying. Don't worry if you miss a few words, just focus on the overall message. Repeat what you hear. If you don't understand a word or phrase, rewind and listen again. Try to repeat it until you feel comfortable saying it. Use resources. There are many resources online where you can listen to different accents. Look for videos, podcasts, and language lessons that feature different types of English. Finally, remember that accents are a natural part of language. People speak differently depending on where they're from, and that's perfectly normal. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, try to enjoy the variety of English accents. The more you listen to them, the easier it will be to understand and use them in your own conversations. Keep practicing, and soon you'll feel confident understanding all kinds of English accents. Step 5. Practice active listening. Active listening is an important skill to develop when learning English. It means focusing completely on what you hear and understanding the meaning, even if you don't catch every word. It's normal to not understand everything at first, but with practice, you can improve. Let's look at how to practice active listening step by step. Listen for context. When listening to English, don't worry if you don't understand every single word. Instead, focus on the overall meaning of the sentence or conversation. Even if you miss a few words, you can still understand the general idea by paying attention to the context. For example, if someone says, "I'm heading to the store," and you didn't hear the words heading, you can still understand that the person is going to the store. The context gives you enough information to know what they mean. The key here is not to stress about missing a word, but to focus on what you understand. If you don't understand something, try to think about the situation or the conversation. What are they talking about? What might they say next? This will help you connect the dots and make it easier to understand the rest of the conversation. With time, you'll get better at understanding what people are saying without needing to hear every word clearly. Write down what you hear. Another great way to improve your listening skills is by writing down what you hear. Start with short audio clips, like a short conversation or sentence. Play the clip and try to write down everything you understand. Don't worry if you can't write everything. Focus on the key words and phrases. After you write down what you think you heard, play the clip again and compare it with what you wrote. Check if you got the words correct. This will help you see what you understood well and what you might need to work on. Writing what you hear will also help you remember new vocabulary and improve your spelling. This exercise also helps improve your comprehension. As you practice, you will become more confident in your ability to understand spoken English. The more you practice, the easier it will be to recognize words and phrases in real conversations. You can also write down new words or phrases you hear that you don't understand. Afterward, look up their meanings and practice using them in your own sentences. This way, you can expand your vocabulary while practicing listening. Use different types of audios. To get better at active listening, it's a good idea to listen to different types of audio. For example, you can listen to podcasts, watch TV shows, or listen to news reports. These different types of audio will expose you to various accents, speeds of speech, and topics. This will help you become comfortable with different ways English is spoken. Start with slow and clear audio first. Many apps and websites offer beginner-friendly audio clips with slow speech. As you become more confident, you can gradually move on to faster speech and more complex topics. When you listen to podcasts or videos, try to listen to the same clip multiple times. The first time, just listen and try to understand the main idea. The second time, try to focus on specific details. Each time you listen, you will pick up new information and become better at understanding spoken English. Focus on pronunciation and rhythm. As you listen, also, pay attention to how the speaker pronounces words and how they use rhythm. English speakers sometimes link words together, which can make it harder to understand. For example, instead of saying, "I want to go," you might hear "wanna go." The more you practice, the more you will recognize these changes in speech. Try to imitate the speaker's rhythm and pronunciation. This will help you understand the sounds of the language and improve your own speaking skills. When you listen actively, you're not only learning to understand English, but also training your brain to hear the sounds of the language. Listen to different accents. As you practice active listening, try to listen to different accents. English is spoken differently in various parts of the world. For example, British English, American English, Australian English, and other accents all have different ways of pronouncing words. Listening to these accents will help you become more flexible in understanding English. At first, it might be difficult to understand a new accent, but don't get discouraged. Focus on the context and use what you already know to fill in the gaps. You can also practice with videos or audio that feature different accents. This will make it easier for you to understand English speakers from around the world. Repeat and practice often. The key to improving your listening skills is practice. Try to listen to English every day. You can listen to podcasts, watch videos, or even listen to music in English. The more you practice, the better you will get at understanding fast speech, different accents, and new vocabulary. If you don't understand something at first, that's okay. Listen again and try to catch what you missed. You'll be surprised at how much you can understand after a few repetitions. Each time you listen, you will improve your skills. Practice with real conversations. Once you're comfortable with listening to recordings, try to practice with real conversations. You can find a language partner or a tutor to practice speaking and listening. Listening to real people talk in everyday situations will help you get used to different speaking speeds and accents. In real conversations, people might speak quickly or use slang. Don't worry if you don't understand everything right away. Use what you know to get the main idea and practice listening to more conversations. Over time, you'll feel more confident understanding fast English. Be patient and keep going. Remember, active listening takes time and practice. Don't be discouraged if you don't understand everything immediately. Keep practicing and celebrate the progress you make along the way. You will get better over time, and soon you'll be able to understand English conversations more easily. Active listening is an essential skill that will help you improve your English. By focusing on the overall meaning, writing down what you hear, and practicing regularly, you will become more confident in your ability to understand spoken English. Keep listening and keep practicing. Step 6. Use real-life practice. Real-life practice is one of the best ways to improve your English skills. It helps you gain confidence, hear different accents, and learn how English is used in real conversations. Let's talk about how you can start using real-life practice to get better at listening and speaking. Talk to native speakers online. One great way to practice English is by talking to native speakers. This helps you hear how people speak naturally. You can use apps like Hello Talk or Tandem to connect with English speakers from around the world. These apps allow you to send messages, voice notes, or even have video calls with people who want to practice languages. When you talk to native speakers, focus on listening to how they speak. Try to notice their pronunciation, the rhythm of their speech, and how they use slang or everyday phrases. Don't worry if you don't understand everything at first. Just keep listening and try to pick up the important words and meanings. You can also ask your conversation partner to repeat things or explain words you don't understand. Many people are happy to help you learn and improve. The more you practice with native speakers, the better you will get at understanding different accents and improving your own speaking skills. Join English groups. Another way to practice English is by joining local or online English groups. There are many groups where people come together to speak in English. These groups can be found on social media, language learning websites, or even in your local community. Joining these groups allows you to meet new people who are also learning English or who already speak it fluently. In these groups, you can practice speaking, listening, and even reading or writing. For example, if you join a group that focuses on speaking practice, you might have conversations with other learners or with native speakers. You can ask questions, share your thoughts, or simply listen to others speak. Being in a group gives you a chance to practice in a relaxed environment where everyone is there to learn together. If you join a local English club, you might meet in person. These clubs can be a fun way to practice speaking with others face to face. You can make friends who are also learning English and help each other. Local clubs might have events or meetings where you can practice speaking, listen to short talks, or take part in fun activities in English. Online groups are also a great option, especially if you don't have an English club near you. Many online communities offer free conversation practice, writing exchanges, or even games that help you learn English. These online groups can be a safe place to practice speaking and listening, without the fear of making mistakes in front of others. Practice in real conversations. Real conversations are the best way to improve your English. Whether you're speaking with a native speaker or another learner, talking to someone in real life helps you practice what you've learned in a natural setting. These conversations can be short, like greeting a friend or ordering food at a restaurant, or they can be longer discussions about any topic you like. When you have real conversations, try to focus on understanding the main idea. Don't worry too much if you miss a word or don't understand every sentence. Just keep listening and asking questions if you need to. Over time, you'll start to notice that you can understand more and more of what people are saying. Even if you don't have many opportunities to speak English in person, you can still have real conversations online. Use video calls or voice messages to talk with people. These conversations are just like speaking face-to-face, and they can help you improve faster than only studying by yourself. Use English in your daily life. Another way to practice English is by using it in your daily life. You don't always need to have a conversation with someone else to practice. You can use English when you're alone or with people who don't speak English. For example, try thinking in English when you're doing daily tasks. If you're cooking, you can say the names of the ingredients in English. If you're walking outside, describe what you see in English. You can also practice speaking English while doing things you enjoy. If you like reading, try reading English books or articles. If you watch TV shows or movies, try to watch them in English without subtitles. As you use English more in your daily life, it will start to feel more natural. When you have conversations in English, try to use what you've learned. Even if you make mistakes, it's important to practice and keep improving. You can also ask the person you're talking to for help if you don't understand something. Most people will be happy to explain and support you in your learning. Use social media to learn English. Social media is another great tool for real-life practice. There are many groups and pages on platforms like Facebook, Instagram, or Reddit where people learn and practice English together. You can follow accounts that post content in English, comment on posts, or even join conversations in the comments section. Many social media pages offer fun ways to learn English, like quizzes, short videos, and challenges. These pages can help you stay motivated and make learning English more fun. You can also connect with other learners and share your experiences, which can help you feel more confident. By using social media to practice English, you can get used to reading and writing in English every day. You can also listen to English videos, podcasts, or songs that are shared by others. This can help you improve both your listening and reading skills while enjoying the content that interests you. Be patient and keep practicing. It's important to remember that language learning takes time. The more you practice speaking and listening, the better you will become. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Everyone makes them, and they're a natural part of learning. What matters is that you keep practicing and using English in your daily life. If you feel nervous about speaking English, try to remind yourself that everyone is learning and mistakes are a part of the process. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Each conversation is an opportunity to improve your skills and become more comfortable with the language. By talking to native speakers, joining English groups, and practicing in real-life situations, you will make fast progress in your English learning. Stay positive, keep practicing, and soon you will notice how much better you can understand and speak English. Step 7. Stay patient and consistent. Learning to understand fast English and different accents can be challenging, but it's important to remember that improvement takes time. It's completely okay if you don't understand everything right away. The key is to stay patient and consistent. Here are some simple steps to help you on your journey. Progress over perfection. When learning English, many learners feel frustrated because they want to understand everything perfectly. But the truth is, language learning is a journey, not a race. Every step you take, even the small ones, shows that you are improving. If you focus too much on being perfect, you might feel discouraged and give up. But if you focus on progress, you will feel proud of how much you've learned. For example, you might not understand everything in a fast English conversation today, but tomorrow you might understand a little bit more. Every time you catch a new word or understand a phrase, that's progress. Even small improvements are big wins. These improvements add up over time and will help you understand more and more as you continue practicing. Practice daily. Consistency is key when learning a language. It's better to practice a little bit every day than to study a lot all at once. If you listen to English for just 10 to 15 minutes each day, it will make a big difference in the long run. The more you listen, the more your ears will get used to the speed of the language and the different accents. Set aside some time every day to practice listening to English. This could be while you're doing something else, like commuting, cleaning, or relaxing. You don't always have to focus 100% on your listening practice, but just having it in the background can help. You might listen to an English podcast, watch an English TV show, or play an audiobook. The more you hear the language, the more your brain will start recognizing words, phrases, and patterns in fast speech. Listening daily is also important because it helps you get used to hearing different accents. English has many accents, from British to American to Australian, and each one sounds different. The more you expose yourself to these accents, the easier it will be to understand them. You don't need to worry about catching every word, just focus on the overall meaning. Over time, you will start to understand more and more. Be kind to yourself. Sometimes, learning English can be frustrating. You might feel like you're not making enough progress, or that you'll never understand fast conversations. But it's important to be kind to yourself. Language learning is hard, and everyone faces challenges along the way. Remember, you are doing your best, and that's enough. When you feel frustrated, take a deep breath and remind yourself that learning a language is a long-term goal. Even the best language learners didn't get there overnight. They put in time and effort, and so can you. Celebrate the small victories, like understanding a new word or catching part of a fast conversation. These little wins will help you stay motivated and continue practicing. Stay patient. Patience is one of the most important things when learning a language. Sometimes it feels like progress is slow, but that doesn't mean you're not improving. Your brain is working hard to process new information, and it takes time to get comfortable with fast speech and different accents. Be patient with yourself and trust the process. If you don't understand something today, don't worry. Keep practicing, and tomorrow you might understand a little bit more. It's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to not understand everything at once. The key is to keep going even when it feels difficult. Remember, slow progress is still progress. Consistency is key. One of the best ways to improve at anything, including learning English, is to be consistent. If you study for an hour once a week, it will be harder to remember what you learned. But if you spend just 10 to 15 minutes a day listening to English or practicing speaking, you will notice faster improvement. Consistency helps your brain learn better and remember more. You don't need to study for hours each day. A small amount of practice every day is better than studying a lot for one day and then doing nothing for a week. Make a habit of practicing every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Over time, you will start to see how much you have improved. Staying consistent with your practice will help you understand faster English and different accents. Trust the process. It's easy to feel discouraged when things don't go as quickly as you want. But the key is to trust the process. Learning English, like any skill, takes time. The more time you spend practicing, the better you will get. Don't rush the process. Instead, enjoy. Language learning is exciting, and with each day of practice, you're getting closer to your goal. You might not see huge progress every day, but little by little, your listening and speaking skills will improve. Trust that the work you are doing today will pay off in the future. Over time, you will notice that you understand faster conversations and accents more easily. It's all about consistent practice and patience. Set realistic goals. Another way to stay patient and consistent is by setting realistic goals for yourself. You don't need to aim for perfection or try to understand everything at once. Instead, set small, achievable goals. For example, you might set a goal to understand one new word or phrase every day. Or you could aim to listen to an English podcast for 10 minutes every day for a week. Setting realistic goals will help you stay focused and give you something to look forward to. As you reach your small goals, you will feel a sense of achievement and motivation to keep going. Over time, these small goals will add up to big improvements in your listening and speaking skills. Don't compare yourself to others. It's easy to compare your progress to other learners, but remember, everyone learns at their own pace. Some people may learn faster, while others take a little longer. That's okay. What matters is that you are making progress at your own pace. Don't get discouraged if you see other people understanding more quickly. Focus on your own journey and celebrate the progress you've made. Everyone has different strengths and weaknesses when learning a language. Some people might find it easier to understand accents, while others might find it easier to learn new vocabulary. Embrace your own learning style and be proud of the progress you've made. Keep going no matter what. Learning English can sometimes feel like an uphill battle, but the most important thing is to keep going. If you stay patient, consistent, and focused on your goals, you will see progress. It might take some time, but that's okay. Every day you practice, you are getting closer to your goal of understanding fast English and different accents. So, take a deep breath, trust the process, and keep practicing. Don't worry if things seem hard at times. Stay consistent, be patient with yourself, and remember that progress is what matters. You are doing great, and every step you take brings you closer to mastering English. Keep up the great work. Quick recap: here's what we covered today. 1. Start with slow and clear listening. Begin by listening to slow English so you can understand every word. This will build your confidence. 2. Gradually move to faster conversations. As you get comfortable, challenge yourself with faster speech. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Focus on the main idea. 3. Learn common phrases and contractions. Phrases like "what's up" or "I gotta go" are used often. Learn them to understand fast speech better. Also, pay attention to contractions like "I'm" instead of "I am." 4. Expose yourself to different accents. English has many accents. Start with one, like American, and then try others like British or Australian. Listening to different accents will help you understand more. 5. Practice active listening techniques. Focus on the meaning, not just the words. If you don't understand a word, guess the meaning from the context. 6. Use real-life practice opportunities. Practice with native speakers online or in person. Real conversations will help you improve faster. 7. Be patient and consistent. Language learning takes time. Be patient with yourself and practice every day, even if it's just a little. Remember, understanding fast English and different accents is a journey. You don't have to master it overnight. Take small steps every day, and soon you'll notice big improvements. Thanks for watching HCT English. I'm Jackie, and I'm here to help you master English step by step. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more beginner-friendly English tips. See you next time.